Last month, many people that support the Detroit Mountain Recreation Area Project, which of course is turning Detroit Mountain, just northeast of Detroit Lakes here, into a possible Four Seasons recreation area, heard the news that the Department of Natural Resources Parks and Legacy grant money did not go for that project. However, the city of Detroit Lakes did receive the funding it requested for Sucker Creek Preserve, so it sounds like that expansion of Sucker Creek will be able to move forward thanks to just under $500,000 in grant funding for that. But going back to the Detroit Mountain project, a lot of people might have heard that the $1.2 million they requested for that project was not given by the state. And some people might wonder if the project is in peril or in flux. Now, I'm not exactly 100% sure where the project is at, but I really think the group behind this is not going to let this die. In fact, I know from talking to some people in the Detroit Mountain Recreation Area group, really in early December or even late November, they kind of had an idea that it was going to be a long shot in order to be able to get that grant funding. So they began working on alternatives. I think the next couple months, though, will be very critical in finding out whether Detroit Mountain can be a project that can be done here in Detroit Lakes. Now, with the loss of the legacy money from the DNR, that could change what the city's relationship is with the Detroit Mountain Recreation Area project. However, Mayor Matt Brink, in his most recent State of the City address, said he would encourage the city of Detroit Lakes to continue to work towards getting the Detroit Mountain property up and running again. So that would lead me to believe that the city would still be in for its $300,000. There's still also the option of some local market credits, which could come back close to $1 million. So where would the remainder of the $6.2 million proposed Four Seasons project come from? That's the big question. The Detroit Mountain Recreation Area Group was going to fundraise a lot of this money, well over $2 million. They could go to even trying to fundraise more. And wouldn't that almost make it even a more special project if that could happen? Imagine if most of it was fundraised by the people here in Detroit Lakes. It would truly then be a community park with little to no government interference or government funding, because you know when you take money from the state, whether it's grant money or something else, you usually have a lot of strings attached. And I think a deal could be worked out with the city of Detroit Lakes to make most of those strings attached minimal. Detroit Mountain Recreation Area project has been really a dream for the last couple years by a pretty large group of business people and other affluent people here in Detroit Lakes that would like to see that project going. I think most people in the Lakes area would like to see it going too. Now, I know some people maybe in greater Becker County or outside of Detroit Lakes might not see the benefit to a ski hill / Four Seasons recreation area here in Detroit Lakes. But I really think as the county seat, and with almost 1/3 of the county's population in Detroit Lakes, what is good for Detroit Lakes is good for Becker County. In other words, what's good for Detroit Lakes economically is also economically good for communities like Wolf Lake, Frazee, Two Inlets, Walworth, Atlanta Township, and other areas around. I don't think that this is going to be the end of the Detroit Mountain discussion, but I think the next couple months will be critical to see if one day we will be able to tube, ski, and camp at one of the most beautiful locations in Becker County.